Good evening everyone, welcome to Sim Nation India. I am the wildest monk, aka Ankur Agarwal, and I'm here to go live with a one-of-a-kind session. This is a Gen Z versus the millennial race. My compatriot Galaxy will be joining us as well, just while all these things happen. It's a pretty interesting format that I'm going to take you guys through. So stay tuned, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be super intense in its own way. So here we are with almost 13, 14 racers if I'm not wrong. This is going to be a pretty interesting format where you're looking at a bunch of racers which have been put into two categories. You've got the millennials and you've got the Gen Z. Pretty interesting format there that these guys have come up with. It's going to be fun. We're going to see a bunch of veterans take some action versus you've got a bunch of young bloods. I'm talking as young as 14-year-olds, with a bunch of talent and really fast pace. So quickly introducing you to the racers that we have over here. We've got Inavri, then here with Hershey. We've got the ever so fast Mr. Ancient Pleb. We've got Flash over here, so some new faces. Another very fast guy repping the India colors, Modi Guarantee aka Tariq. Then we've got Rahul, Advancify, Vishal Zander, Abdus, he's the 14-year-old that I'm referring to. Another fast lad in the form of Dukhi. Then we've got Vijit and Askas. So we're looking at about 6 millennials and 6 Gen Z racers. So stay tuned guys, as Inavri is just about to sort of kick off his first flying lap, and we've got some interesting benchmarks here. We are in what seems like GR4 cars. So Inavri is about to set up his first fastest lap. An interesting format. We're looking at 154, but it seems like it's not valid. Hershey's with a 154.5, that's the first benchmark, and Inavri immediately jumping into the pits. Pleb with a 154.1, so he takes potential pole, and I am Rahul with a 153.6, so seems like there's some track evolution, seems like there's some mistakes, but everyone in the Hondas, so except for Pleb, maybe he's daring to go in the McLaren. So Aska is leading now with a 153.5, running in front of I am Rahul by just about 400, followed by Abdul. So top 3 separated by just about over a tenth. Then there's Dukhi, who is also strangely in the Honda. Big McLaren fan himself. So yeah, we're looking at a bunch of Honda riders except for maybe Pleb, I think. So top 8 within a second. Inavri, Flash, Vishal, Modi Guarantee. I think Modi Guarantee still trying to just sort of taking the toe of Dukhi. Not a bad idea, but let's see, these guys will be wanting to save the tires as well. Second guys, let's see a bit of a screen. So I've got my friend Galaxy here as well, and I hope Galaxy, for everyone's sake, we can hear you clearly, and hopefully the stream can catch your audio as well.
I hope so too. Thank you so much for inviting.
So while we can hear Galaxy, we can hear him softly, and thankfully, Danlord pointing out that the audio is gone. Oh, just a moment. And,
How about now? Is this better? Can you hear me clearly?
no, I think I know what the issue is. I think our friends should now be able to hear us better. Galaxy, your voice is pretty low. It's pretty soft for some reason. The Modi guarantee just goes off. I think Galaxy, if you can just bump up your volume while we stick with Rahul, who's just put in another fast lap and he's jumped to about a 153.4. So while Galaxy fixes his audio, I think the interesting bit is that surprisingly we've got Rahul and Askas, very fast guys in the top 2. Modi ki guarantee unsurprisingly is in the top 3. Pleb is down in P7 serving his penalty, and in the meantime let's see any more grid shuffles. So it seems like a bunch of guys are on their out laps now. Vishal seems to be on a flyer and definitely seems like he's improving, so let's just stay with Vishal now. 4 times of a jump will still probably keep him at provisional P10, maybe P9. I don't see him improving beyond that, but let's stick with him if he can land in a good lap. And Aska is making the most of it, getting a good tow. Where does this put Vishal? P10, as I thought so. So she's also on a flyer, just about to clear sector 1. Vansita is on an out lap, and Vijit's also started his. Oh, I just jumped into the pit, so we just move away from him. Abdus, another fast guy. Let's see where we see with Abdus. Sector 1. This is cockpit view at this fantastic Watkins Glen, and he's clocked in a purple here. Rahul rightly moving out of the way, so that's sensible there. Abdus is a really fast guy, hungry for speed, hungry for really getting better, and to everyone's surprise and delight, I mean, I think there's no shame in saying this. In fact, if anything, it's very inspiring that Abdus at one point was just a C-rated driver, and to look at where he is today, he's A-rated, just improving by about 400 there on his time. So he needs to definitely make up a lot of ground in sector 3. But for someone who's put in so much effort, that within 2 months he jumped from a DRC to a DRA is just truly commendable. I mean, for me, he's one of the guys who should definitely be in the A plus and the S-rated lobbies too. Hershey's improves to 153. Modi Gandhi serves the penalty. Flash improves to a 154.6. As my friend Galaxy is back as well. So welcome back, Galaxy. It's still soft.
Okay.
So quali's come to an end.
Is this any better?
No, it's still soft. And Abdus for some reason has left the lobby. So quickly going through the order with our top 10. Sorry, apologies for that, just facing some audio issues there. fastest lap being set by I am Rahul at a 153.4, Pleb with a 153.5. So Pleb did jump up. I think that was right in the nick of time before quali just came to an end. We've got Askas in P3, Modi guaranteed P4, Hershey's in P5, Dukhi down in P6, Vijit in P7, Advancify in P8, Vishal in P9, Flash in P10, Enavri in P11, and Abdus in P12. So Abdus has joined the room. So while we wait for the host to start the race, another interesting thing that I like to bring to everyone's notice is the fact that this particular setup of the race or the conditions were only revealed to these guys half an hour prior. So while some of the racers very clearly objecting that Abdus should get a DNS, and I think that would only be unfair for someone who's put in this time, but it's on the host at the end of the day. But seems like he probably will be out. So while we look at that, I'm just going to quickly take everyone through the conditions here. We're going to be racing at Watkins Glen. We're looking at 18 laps of full-fledged action. It's going to be a great start. We're looking at a nice pleasant afternoon. We're looking at about a 2x tire rate, 3x fuel consumption, and with racing tires, so it's gonna be a lot of fun, these GR4 cars. So let's see how this goes as we wait for our host to start the race. So as we try to figure out, I think what's going to happen is we might have to simply, I think all the racers will probably have to exit in order to, and there you go, Galaxy has cancelled the race. So this has only been done to ensure that Abdus can also enter. So really kind on the admin's part to do something like that. So while we look at it from that perspective, I think rest everything seems fine. And thank you for all your help, Dan. Really appreciate it that you've been giving us this feedback. But hopefully Galaxy can join us as the room is being prepared, just some final set of changes. And then we will be going live with the race. So it will be interesting to find out what your predictions are and where do you guys think we will be in terms of the grid order. It's easy to qualify, as just like that we do face some issues, and Widget's just left the room. Everyone's just going for a quick I would say release, just to let the pressures out. Let's take a break, and some political nonsense also taking place here. But while we do that, it would be interesting to see your top 3 predictions. Ganesh, let's see how Galaxy decides on the starting position for Abdus, because as per the classification, apologies for that, Abdus showed he was down in P12. Everyone's driving GR4 cars. And by the looks of it, I think everyone is on the Honda NSX except for the McLaren of Dukhi. Will Dukhi be sneaky and maybe change his car? We're only going to find out. And I'm sorry, Dukhi was on the NSX. My bad. It was the ancient pleb who was on the McLaren. I did see a Ferrari as well, but I'm not certain if Flash in the Ferrari, I think so, yeah. So another set of changes there, and I just hope this doesn't lead to any glitches in the lobby. So just bear with us, guys.
Hi, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, loud and clear, my friend. Much better.
I'm glad to hear that.
Wonderful. So Galaxy, he's the brains, guys, behind this epic new league, one of a kind, extremely unique to SNI, to everyone's thinking. So Galaxy, please take us to fill us in terms of what's going on. We are aware that Abdus had to be reinstated into the grid. Hence, we're looking at these changes. So where are we now?
Correct. So that's absolutely true. So what I'm trying to do right now is, as we speak, reorder people, because there's no point of going through the complete qualification.
Absolutely.
And so I'm going to set.
Okay, so you're just setting up the grid order, and I think what we're going to do is we're just not going to disturb you while you set that up. And interesting to see that the top three, well, of course, Pleb was not in P1, so while Galaxy fixes that, it's nice to see that at least there's a McLaren and a Ferrari in the mix, while there's this complete Honda domination. Sort of reminds me of where we were from like 21, 22 in the F1 seasons with Max Verstappen and the others just trailing. So let's see if we're gonna see maybe a remake of that. Everyone's just gone for the Honda here, so definitely the meta vehicle, meta car choice that we can think of. Personally, I'm a big fan of the, what do you say, variety. Yeah. But what would you guys do? For our spectators out there, would you guys go for the Hondas, or would you guys go for maybe just try out different things? So yeah, I think it seems like the grid's taking shape, and there you go, Ganesh, Nyanesh. I'm sorry, I always get your name wrong, but Abdus has been reinstated into P5, and pretty generous there by our admin to let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was ensuring that people get a fair deal. There could be different reasons why someone could get disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's not on their own volition. So the idea was ensuring that everyone gets a fair chance.
Fantastic.
Duki has a question. Yeah, so for Duki, he was P6 but without Abdus because he left. With Abdus joining, he is a P7.
The only thing is, so let's have a bit of a debate here. While we're dabbling over this, Abdus unfortunately got disconnected in fair circumstances. Though Abdus had a better time than these guys, but because he got disconnected and he didn't complete the section, ideally, don't you think he should be right at the back of the grid?
Now that's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is, was that something that he did deliberately because he got a bad qualifying time? In any sense, it's not that his ranking would get higher than what he had clocked earlier. So there's no advantages of disconnecting, and hence, just going ahead with making sure that everyone get a fair deal, keeping it this way.
Sounds good. If the admins decided to go ahead with this, then that is what everyone is to follow. So I think Galaxy, if we're ready to go, then let's get started with the race.
Yes, I am ready to go. I'm just doing one final check to make sure all the details are correct before we get started.
Fantastic.
And they are. So we have all the racers. And good luck to everyone. The race starts in 3, 2, 1. Now.
Good luck to all our racers there. As Some interesting points being made there by Modi guarantee, but this is going to be fun. This is going to be an epic one. Watching some of the I shouldn't call them veterans, but watching some of the millennials fight it out with the Gen Zs as we're all set for an epic 18 laps of Watkins Glen. What are your top 3 predictions going to be like, Galaxy?
It's very interesting actually, because you have
I'm sorry to cut you there, but Plebs just jumped. I'm so sorry there, but Plebs just jumped, and Rahul has lost his positions there. Pleb with a fantastic start to a point where he's almost gone up by 7/10. So I don't know if that's a tire difference or what, but Pleb is absolutely flying here. And having said that, everyone else pretty much, we've got a 4-way battle and a 3-way battle brewing up right behind Modi guarantee. This is intense action right here. I'm so sorry for interrupting you, Galaxy, but if we look at it, they're all heading towards the chicane, and this could be difficult as Askas is pushed wide by Hershey's, and Askas has completely lost his race. This was expected in P1. Flash fighting his way through 5-way battle between Advancify and Inaveri, and I mean, wow, what a start by Pleb. Look at that, he's almost a second and a half over the entire grid, and everyone down from P4 onwards is just fighting hard. So what was that by the McLaren? I'm just absolutely baffled here. I was not expecting anything of that sort, and Pleb is flying. Is it possibly that he's on soft tires and everyone else is on mediums? Is that strategic or what, as Rahul serves his penalty and loses a bunch of positions in the mix? I'm so sorry, Galaxy. I'm going to take my breath, man, and I'm going to leave it
now. You did it absolutely fine. So that's exactly what I was also going to say. Pleb just he just zoomed through. It probably also adds to the fact that the NSX isn't as fast off the line as compared to, say, the McLaren. But he took advantage of that. Possibly a tire difference, which probably led to a huge gap so far. But he's nailing it right now.
Clearly, he absolutely is. As Inaveri started to make a move on this thing, I'm just gonna keep it on this. As Vijit and Rahul are having a bit of a battle as well, but he just flew, man, and Pleb is absolutely flying. Seems like a bit of a grid that's being set up. Tuki is under pressure from Advancify, and Advancify might consider making a move which could get a little ugly, but Duki also is getting Rahul's toe. So Advancify thinking about making a move, but backs out of it as Flash behind is also overtaken by Vishal Zander. They try to fight back, and look at that, everyone's just going off grid there. So clearly the chicane
I think Rahul's going to get a penalty now.
Yes, Vishal also, and
he went off track.
Rahul went off track, Vishal went off track. They pretty much very evidently jumped. So Rahul going backwards, not good for him there. But I mean, wow, what a start, and what just happened here?
In fact, Askas is right at the back, and when I checked last at the start of lap 2, he was about 7.5 seconds behind the person in front of him.
So
but he's coping up really well.
I'm sorry, Galaxy, please go on.
No, I was just saying that he actually covered almost 2.5 seconds in half a lap. So he's gaining with all the fighting.
That's amazing. So let's quickly go through the grid. We've got Pleb in P1 who's still raking in fastest laps. We've got a battle between Hershey's. Hershey's thinks about making a move, and he does so cleanly. Brilliant move there by Hershey's to make a jump on Modi guarantee, and just like that, Hershey's takes P2, Modi guarantee in P3.
Vijit's overtaken.
Vijit's overtaken Advancify for P4, as we do see a bit of a battle here again. Modi guarantee and Hershey's. I'm just going to stick with these guys for a bit. Pretty interesting bit. So let's just jump on chase view, and Modi Guarantee thought about it, but Hershey's braking absolutely late here. So let's just stick with these guys and see what happens. As
we have a major battle also going on for 9th between Vishal, Aiden and Abdus, and they almost went 3 wide at the bus stop. With Aiden now with the penalty.
Modi Guarantee is putting in all the pressure on Hershey's here. But in all of this, Galaxy, the good part is Plebs is going to enjoy all of it because he's gaining, he's got a lead of almost 4.5 seconds now. Modi Guarantee, and there's a battle brewing up. Duki Atma gets jumped there, loses 2 positions in the mix, goes off track as well. So let's hope for his sake he doesn't pick up a penalty. But yes, Rahul recovering as well. So Rahul at one point was going backwards, is making a recovery also, and the guys at the back also sort of gaining in. So let's just stay here with Rahul, who is under pressure from Advancify here. Advancify getting a really good exit, and he might just think about diving down the inside, while Duki also puts in pressure, but sensibly so, and keeping it clean. All 3 of them just decide to just not lose too much time. As we are here with Modi Guarantee and Hershey's once again, and these guys are battling hard. So let's get to know one thing here, as Modi Guarantee thinks about making a move, and he does so. Will he think about the outside? Yes, what a brilliant move there by Modi Guarantee.
It is
absolutely fantastic there. I mean, just Hershey's couldn't do anything about it. That was a very Fernando Alonso and Michael Schumacher-esque kind of a move there. So brilliant move there by these guys. A lot of action taking place. The Galaxy, how does all this racing affect their tires, their fuel? Are the conditions kind? Are they inviting more racing, or do you have to be more conservative?
I think it's a mix of both. The way this is structured, is not a very short race. 18 laps can be quite a long time, about 35 minutes or so. And with the way that they are going, the strategies are very different. So a lot of them could have picked softs or mediums or hards because there weren't really any specific mandatory tires that they're supposed to use. What I am surprised though is no one went for the hards, and it's either mediums or softs for all of them.
Interesting.
And that could be a different strategy too. I'm not sure, because these races are amongst the fastest we have in India. So the time difference probably between softs and mediums and hards would be quite a bit for them. But the good part is all of them are...
I'm sorry to cut you there, but what a move there by Hershey's. I'm really sorry, while we were discussing strategy, Hershey's made a brilliant move down the inside there. Modi Guarantee, compromising Modi Guarantee to a point where he's lost both positions, and now Hershey's is immediately under pressure by Vijay. This is fantastic racing. So what about slipstream here? I think while lighting the tires, and a bit of an argy-bargy action there. Hershey's rightfully so holding his position. Vijay putting all the pressure that he can. And Modi Guarantee also trying to get into the mix. But look at this Galaxy, from P2 down to P7. We've got all the guys bunched up together, so it could be anyone's position if you're patient. And Rahul thinks about making a move down the inside, and just like that he also picks up, and Modi Guarantee suddenly was just sitting at P2 in a decent position now to come down to P5, and Duki will not want to waste enough time and will want to make the move. So one of the points that we were discussing was that just because you qualified at a certain position does not mean that you might be able to stick with it. So yeah, I'm so sorry to cut you there.
So let's talk about fuel first, because that's slightly easier. The way that they are going, they are definitely using a lot of fuel, and obviously since they are on softs and mediums, it means they will make a pit stop. so they can refuel therein. And if they do that, I think the fuel consumption should be fine and they could be good for the entire race. If they probably went on hards, they might, and let's say they did a no pit strategy, they probably would have had to fuel save a little just to make sure that it lasts all 18 laps.
So while you
But
were
since
saying
they're on
that,
softs and mediums,
I'm so sorry to cut you once again. I don't think these guys are actually listening to you because Duki made a move on Modi Guarantee and Vijit's now made a move on Hershey's as well. So I think, and Vijit just about keeps it onto the chicane and keeps it clean. And Hershey's trying a move from the outside. Will he be able to make it stick? This is going to be interesting. Hershey's will get the inside line right on this corner. Will he be daring enough to brake late? No, Vijit, the right place of parking the car right at the right spot to make sure he makes the car as big as he can. And Rahul, just like that, makes a recovery drive. Now he's almost jumped up to P3, will be under pressure there, but will Hershey's be able to hold on to that inside line? Modi Guarantee is also fighting back as he reclaims P5 from Duki. Rahul out of nowhere, who at one point looked like he was going backwards, has now jumped up to P3. So I think Galaxy, the point here is that while we are towards completing 1/3 of the race, it still could be anyone's race. I mean, I'm just gonna skip Pleb here because he's now got a healthy lead of 6 seconds while all these guys battle it out. But we're seeing some fantastic action between these guys, and your P2 to P7 is just constantly fluctuating. It's like a roulette table calling out positions and they're just sort of going for it.
completely agree. Now, I think the way it's set up, I think softs are probably not a boon but a bane. So those on mediums will probably do a lot more better because softs will wear out really quickly, and that's where mediums will actually start a better strength at different turns.
So what's the cutoff that
I
you're
think
looking
this is
at?
the time now that the people on
sorry,
softs will actually start struggling.
No wonder, because look at this. This is crazy. Hershey thinks about a move and just about keeps it behind. Oh, that could have been crazy. But Hershey jumps back up to P3. So, I mean, I don't know the
P2,
tire compounds that.
Back.
Sorry?
Rahul's getting back.
Rahul's getting back as well.
He's come back to P2.
And it seems like Pleb is now
gaining
losing
on the
time.
leader.
So, Galaxy, can you help us out with the compounds? What are the tire compounds that we're looking at? Because it seems like the soft is now coming to a point where it's losing its shelf life, because now Pleb is only losing time as the lap is progressing. So, is it that the softs have come to the end of their performance? Have they peaked out?
Yes. Lap 6 is when they'll be as good as the mediums. Lap 7 onwards, it'll start to deteriorate.
Yeah, it's very evident because Pleb's almost lost a second.
While the mediums we still probably have about 80-85% of life in them. By lap 7, the softs will probably have 20-25% of life left to them at lap 7.
Oh, what a move! Vijit really trying hard. Where's Rahul? And Vijit's defending as well. So.
And Duki is in P4.
Duki is moved up to P4 as well. So as Hershey goes wide. So I think all the battle up in front that we were watching was probably with the guys in the softs, and now I think it's the guys in the mediums who will spring back to life and start getting into attack mode. While we see all of this, the lead, which was once at 6 seconds, has dropped down to 4.7 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting race, and it's going to heat up. I don't think Pleb being in the lead right now, I don't think he's safe yet. He still needs to make a pit stop. The medium guys probably will not make a pit stop. The race is definitely not done and dusted with. There's a lot going to happen.
So let's quickly go through the grid. We've got Pleb, whose lead is drastically dropping. It's dropping at the rate of knots now. He's sitting at P1. We've got Rahul and Vijit battling it out for P2 and P3 respectively. Then we've got Duki closely behind at P4. We've got Hershey's, who is now falling behind, so I think even he's on the softs and he's struggling now in P5. Modi Guarantee also, who at one point was battling hard, is down at P6. Abdus has gained a lot of ground and moved up to P7. We've got Vishal in P8, just clipping the wall there. Inavari in P9. We've got Askas in P10. And we've got Flash
so he's moved up from being 12.
And there you go, the first set of pit stops have just started. Pleb jumps into the pits, so there you go, the first of the soft guys jumping into the pits, giving the provisional lead to Rahul here. Are we expecting an undercut?
Advan also did a pit stop in the previous lap, on lap 8. And so he moved to a different set of tires as well. But he's right at the back right now.
Does he get a jump on Pleb? I am not so sure. Where is Pleb? Pleb is just exiting the pits. You have to be careful on the exit here. And
he probably could get the jump.
Pleb does get the jump,
no.
So Advancify is down P12. Pleb is about 24.5 seconds behind. I'm not sure of the tires that Pleb picked up. So let's stick with Rahul now, who is under pressure from Vijit. Rahul, out of nowhere, jumping into the lead is just fantastic, and Duki is also falling behind here. So, a lot of action taking place here.
It seems to be getting very interesting. Different strategies playing out. I'm not sure when the medium guys will actually pit. You know, will they take it all the way in and then probably get on softs right at the end? Or will they continue with mediums knowing that the softs deteriorate really quickly?
So let's quickly go through their tires as well. We've got Rahul, who's on the medium. We've got Vijit, who's on the medium. We've got Duki, who's also on the medium. So it's all the medium guys now. I think from who are pretty much here. I think it was just Pleb and
so at the start of the race it was just Pleb and Advan who were on softs while the rest were on mediums. And I think Advan probably once he pitted realized that the softs really weren't the good tire choice here. He moved to the medium. So at this point in time it's only Pleb who's on the softs.
Interesting.
So it'll be interesting how his strategy pans out. So we have the mediums now going into the pit.
So 10 laps, that's the window that we're looking at. Duki puts in a lot of pressure here on Vijit for the lead. We're going to stick with these guys now. Will Duki think about going down the inside? Vijit making his car as wide as he can to ensure that Duki gets no room whatsoever. Vijit with every corner is shutting the door on him, but Duki is constantly knocking on the doors. Will Duki think about making a late lunge? Vijit parking his car right in the middle. So Vijit doing a good job there defensively, and Duki also being patient. So we're going to keep our replay markers on here to see if we can catch an interesting overtaking option. So Duki is right there behind Vijit now. He's forcing Vijit a little wide. So as the track sort of spreads out a little, and these battles now, do you think they're going to help Pleb as Vijit just goes a little wide, compromising his exit as Duki now takes the lead. So Duki will also want to fuel as Vijit jumps into the pits. Duki's thought about entering the pits late, but okay, no, maybe he's just taking the corner. So let's just have a look at that move again. What happened here with Vijit as Duki was putting in all the pressure on Vijit here. Vijit, I think, was just losing out on all the tires. So while we look at that, I think with that, somewhere his tires just sort of gave away, and you can see the tire wear on Vijit there, and I think that's what sort of just the front left, which is giving away, because of which he just didn't have the corner speed, and just like that.
It'll be actually interesting to know if Duki and Modi are looking to do a no-stop strategy.
Let's just go back
and drive all the way till the 18th lap on mediums.
That's interesting. So quickly, fuel comparisons between Modi and Duki, pretty much the same, but Duki has done a great job with his tires. I'm just gonna quickly ensure that we only see race info. I don't know why it's also showing me everything else.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. And the surprising part is, while this is an individual race and everyone's racing individually, this is also the legal generation. So no points for individual wins. It's the team that needs to win. So the team that has the highest number of drivers in the initial top 5 probably will win the league.
Interesting. That's a pretty interesting setup. Can you elaborate a little on this Galaxy while the guys at P3 and P4 are battling it out? We're going to stick here with Abdul. Let's see if he's going to think about making a charge on Vishal.
So let me give a quick background, and I think you probably covered most of it at the beginning. But this is the legal generation, so we're trying to figure out which generation, is better at racing and driving. Is it Gen Z, who are 29 and below years of age, or is it the Millennials, who are 30 years and above? So that's really the question, and what the league's all about. To make it even, given that there are summer holidays going on, etc., so a lot of people would have time to practice, but not everyone would. The idea was sharing the details of the race in terms of the car, the fuel wear, etc., only 30 minutes before the race actually starts. So it kind of made it an even pace for both the millennials, who probably are in the middle of a work week, as well as for the Gen Zs, to ensure that it's an even keel.
Interesting, absolutely interesting. So I think keeping it fair and even for the guys from both categories.
If this continues the way it is, 4 of the top 5 are millennials. And that's quite interesting. Now, to get to the league, everyone had to complete a qualifying time, and we chose Alsace circuit experience for that. So in case anyone logs into GT7 and goes to the circuit experience at Alsace, don't be surprised that 6 out of the world's top 10 best lap times are these fastest Indians.
That's truly commendable. I mean, you don't get to, that's a major flex right there. You don't get to claim stuff like that. And Galaxy, kudos to you and to Ench as well to formulate something like this, and to a point where it just shows a lot of promise that on a circuit like Alsace, even though it's fictitious in its own way, that among the world's top 10 you've got top 6 filled by, 6 out of the top 10 are Indians. That's a major breakthrough in terms of where we are in terms of racing, and what kind of potential we really carry. So yeah, that's truly phenomenal, and it makes me very, very proud that these are members of Sim Nation India who've done this. So absolutely fantastic.
Completely agree. So let's just look at the grid once again, and probably, if you don't mind, Ankur, I'll take a stab this time. So we have Duki right now at pole position. He's driving with about a little more than a 2.5 second lead. And personally interacting with him, you get to know a lot about a person, by talking to them, etc. He is one smart and tough cookie. He sets his sights on something, and there's probably nothing that stops him from getting it. And it seems like he has his eyes on winning this race, and he's managed his tire and fuel pretty well to do that.
I'm just gonna cut you here. I'd like you to hold on to that for a bit, because there's some interesting battles brewing in as we watch a replay of Advancify reclaiming P8 from Vijit there. What a move, and these guys are fighting hard as we speak. So look at that, they're just going for it at this point. There's just relentless pressure being applied by Vijit, and Advancify also not holding back. Advancify going a little wide, giving the inroads to Vijit there, as Vijit does decide to fight back. Vijit on the softs, Advancify on the mediums, but Advancify, as we all know, is not someone who's going to hold back. He loves sticking down the lanes where you just not think of an overtake, and just like that. So he's thinking about a move from the outside. Will he think about making a move, compromising the inside entry of Vijit, but Vijit staying strong and holding on to P8 there. So yeah, little bit of action.
And very, very surprised. I've not really raced too much with Vijit, but have seen him a lot at most of the lobbies that he's been at. He's been really very consistent, both at manufacturers, qualifying lap times, daily races. He's one tough cookie, so I think he'll pose a big challenge throughout the league to a lot of the other Gen Zs.
Interesting. So let's go back to that. So yes, I completely agree that Dukhi is an extremely smart racer, and which is why you see him in the lead. Which is why, while everyone else was fighting, he managed to save his tires. He saved a good amount of fuel, and seems like he's going to go on a no stopper. What about P2 Modi guarantee?
So he's actually very interesting a character, right? So he is very serious, but he can also have fun at the same time, and it shows in his racing style. Because when there was a need to come up on top, there was a need to battle, there was a need to try and through the right lines and overtake people. He did that with very good poise. Yes, he went from P2 back to P5, but he's gone back to P2 again. Not just because the others pitted, because most of them were on the same tires.
Oh, there's some aggressive action taking place there between Vishal. I'm so sorry to interrupt there. We need to look at this. As you see the replay over here, Abdus and Vishal. Abdus was right in the slipstream of Vishal there. Vishal trying to close the door, but Abdus really pushing hard there. Let's just be here and be on the spoiler cam here. As you can see, Vishal just about holding on to that P3 there. Abdus putting all the pressure that he can with those worn-out tires and fuel. Abdus might want to be a little careful in order to ensure that he doesn't burn off any of that fuel there. As just like that, Vishal serving a penalty and Abdus takes a P3. So just about in the nick of time we caught that as well. So yes, I'm sorry about that.
In fact, that's no, you did the right thing, and it's a good place to stop at P3 now. No, I mean, it's difficult to fathom that P3 is a 14-year-old boy. Not a man, a boy, right? And he has the second fastest lap time at Alsace for qualifying, and he set the tone by helping a lot of the other Gen Zs, getting a faster lap. That's so amazing. He's taken initiative, and he's done all that at the age of 14. So hats off to him. I hope he continues doing what he does
in Abdus. I definitely
and I hope he stays grounded as well. He has a lot to do in the future.
For someone, and considering sim racing, I really hope Abdus does make a glorious career in both real racing and sim racing. For me, he's definitely someone who can really be one of the fast guys. I mentioned it earlier also. Abdus for me is someone who if he practices correctly, if he really puts in the time, effort, and is consistent, then an A plus, and hopefully if India really gets the eligibility for DRS races, then I would love to see Abdus as one of those racers as well.
Completely agree. In fact, my only view is, the only thing that comes in his way from proper racing and doing well is probably himself. So as far as he stays level-headed, as far as he, gets the basics right, I think he will make a mark.
So some interesting things I'd like to highlight. Hershey's and Rahul were battling earlier. We're on with them right now. Rahul's about to serve a penalty. So this will give Hershey's a jump. A pretty topsy-turvy race there for the guys who went for the pit stops and for the guys who didn't. So the guys, Hershey's, Rahul, Vijit, who were at one point battling for the lead P2 and P3, are now down at P6, P7 and P8, and Pleb, who's in P5, is just, I don't see how he's going to be able to recover. So Duki's got a very comfortable lead of about 4 seconds. He's pretty much gaining on Modi Guarantee, and Modi Guarantee's also got about a 4.5 second gap to Abdus, who's in P3, who's comfortably about 1.4 seconds ahead of Vishal, and P4 Vishal is nicely 7.7 seconds ahead of Pleb. So yeah, I think Vijit now picking up a penalty along with Advancify. So the guys try to push, but quite an interesting turn of events there, Galaxy.
Completely agree. I don't think pitting was the right idea. Because if you do just the maths, pitting was about 30 seconds. And the difference between a soft and a hard was 2 seconds. So unless you're really, really fast on a soft, you would still have a gap of about 6 seconds if you pitted as compared to someone who didn't.
Correct.
Now, considering the fact that Duki's on mediums, the gap's even less between softs and mediums. So pitting probably wasn't a good idea. If anyone who could have done a full race without a pit, either on hards or mediums, would stand a very good chance to be on the podium.
Correct.
So Pleb now, while being on, at 5th and leading for half the race, he's struggling because his softs have worn out really, really quickly now, and he still has about a lap and a quarter to go.
What a move there by Advancify there. That's just taken way behind, but Advancify really outfoxed Vijit there with the penalties. I'm sorry I had to cut you in again, but Vijit and Advancify was serving the penalties. Vijit was rightly on the racing line. Advancify just before serving the penalty went on to the inside line, and then just because they both pretty much had the same momentum, Advancify taking the advantage, jumping onto the inside line and taking up P8 there. So yes, we're on the final laps now. We're with Duki, who's just on that no stopper, pretty much kept it clean all throughout. And what a drive by Duki, who was absent for about 2 months or so from racing, and he's back with a bang. And I'm not even surprised with how Duki's gone about this. Modi Guarantee at one point was tumbling back very smartly, has managed his way back onto P2. Stars are completely dead. Abdus and I think Vishal also comfortably at P3 and P4 respectively. So yeah, what are your learnings from this Galaxy?
So my learnings, if you just look at the top 5, 4 of them are millennials. They have the experience, they have the knowledge. They might not have brute pace like the Gen Zs, but experience is a lot more valuable when it comes to smart racing or strategy races, and this definitely was one of them.
Interesting.
Now we have Vishal, who's trying his best to catch up with Abdus. I doubt he'll probably do it, but he's one tough guy too.
And just like that,
And-
Duki ends up winning the first race of SNI Millennials versus Gen Z. Modi Guarantee finishes off at P2. We've got Abdus who finishes in P3, followed by Vishal who finishes off in P4. What a drive there. Pleb recovering with almost dead tires at P5. Hershey's in P6. We've got a battle behind between Askas and Advancify as Rahul finishes P7, Askas P8, Advancify P9. And just like that, a phenomenal race comes to an end. And what a drive by Dukhi Atma. What a fantastic drive. So let's just quickly jump on to the results. And Dukhi Atma there finishing P1, Modi Guarantee P2, and Abdus in P3, followed by the rest of the grid. Flash and Inavri somehow finishing in P11 and P12. So yeah, but Galaxy, what a fantastic race there. What a fantastic drive.
It was absolutely amazing. You know, the guys who really figured out the strategy were right on top, and they, without pit stops, they made it.
So do
And
we
they
have
knew
points
exactly
for
what they were
fastest
doing.
lap?
No, we are not giving points for a fastest lap. I didn't want to do that purely because, you know, we're looking at a team race and not really a race of, you know, individually who's better off.
Yeah, I think I'd like to highlight one thing over here is that if you look at the distance between Pleb and Dukhi, it's 18 and a half seconds. That's within a pit stop. So had Pleb maybe kept himself on the mediums and decided to not pit, just maybe we would have seen a different grid order altogether. So yeah, I think with your format, considering that the guys were just notified half an hour prior to the race that these are the racing conditions and this is how it's going to be. So a great adaptation there by all the guys, and clearly Millennials using their experience and the results showing with our top three there. So what's next for us, Galaxy?
So next is tomorrow we have Tokyo, and that would be an interesting race as well. Again, details will be shared just before the race actually starts, so about 30 minutes before. But it'll be an interesting race again.
Nice. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It was wonderful. I hope you guys enjoyed the race as much as we did. And this was a fun experience. Galaxy, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to commentate on this. And yes, I do look forward to the next set of races as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ankur. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Galaxy.
And have a good evening.
You too, my friend. Good luck with the next set of races. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow.